And the nomination of Martha Koome to head the judiciary is the culmination of a long journey that began in a remote part of Meru County more than 60 years ago. Now, Justice Koome brings to the bench 33 years of legal practice that's been punctuated by vibrant activism while she served in civil society. Stephen Leto now looks back on her checkered career of a judge who is set to lead the entire bench at a critical point in the country's history.
61-year-old Martha Koome walked into the JSC panel as one of the favorites to take over as the third Chief Justice under the 2010 Constitution. But she also had the burden of history weighing on her, knowing no woman had ever been Chief Justice in Kenya.
In the CJ is seen with the President, they are discussing matters on administration of justice, that everybody is responsible. It's not a beauty contest who serves Kenya better.
Before the interviewing panel, she cut an image of a soft-spoken but straight-shooting judge building her own ladder to succeed retired Chief Justice David Kenani Maraga. Justice Koome was born to a peasant family in Kithiu village in Meru County in 1960. Raised in a polygamous family of 18 children, she managed to go to school, later joining the University of Nairobi, from where she obtained a bachelor's degree in law. Martha Koome pursued a law degree at the University of Nairobi and graduated in 1986. She had started her legal practice in 1988 as an associate at Mathenge and Mushemi Advocates. She would later start her own firm in 1993, where for 10 years she worked as a managing partner at Martha Koome and Company Advocates. While in private practice, during this period, Judge Koome distinguished herself as a defender of human rights, specifically on gender rights. She represented political detainees and persons charged with politically instigated offenses during the volatile period of one-party rule. She was one of the lawyers who actively participated in a clamor for the repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution and for the independence of the judiciary. She was one of the founding members and a former chair of the Federation of Women Lawyers and FIDA. Martha Koome joined the bench in 2003 following an appointment by President Kibaki as a High Court judge. During that period, Koome was head of Land and Environment Division of the High Court in Nairobi, a resident judge in Nakuru and Kitale High Courts, as well as the Commercial and Family Divisions in Nairobi High Court.
The Court of Appeal, we eat together, and when food helps people talk nicely.
The judge, with an illustrious past, however, found herself in the eye of a storm when, together with two other judges, they presided over a controversial court session on the eve of the 2017 repeat presidential election. They made a ruling that saved the election that had been grounded by a High Court ruling earlier in the day. That case came back to haunt her as she appeared before the JSC panel.
Do you have an obligation, for example, to ask has the Chief Justice authorized us to sit after hours? What is your responsibility?
As long as the President of the court had already prepared the course list, empaneled the bench, called me to sit, and I myself, using my own discretion as a judge and a senior judge, appreciating that this is a matter of national importance that requires an intervention, I knew when we are dealing with the presidential disputes, everything is urgent. You saw the Supreme sitting through midnight.
For the Supreme Court to sit at midnight, as my lady said, it took the Chief Justice to authorize sitting out of and beyond hours.
Koome, who also holds master's degree in law, will be the country's 15th Chief Justice since independence, bringing a fairy tale ending to a story that began in a small village in Meru and is now headed to the apex of Kenya's highest court. As she walks her way into the country's apex court, Martha Koome, if appointed, will have to stabilize the country's judiciary as she maneuvers through the murky contours in the corridors of justice. How she will have her way in the chessboard in a space filled by politics and law remains the question. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Nairobi.